Hello, how are you guys doing? Well, I missed out on last week's recording, last week's vlog, because I was one very busy doing other stuff. I had a meetup with an old friend, and I just was too tired after that to vlog. And previous day I was busy doing something, can't recall what, but yeah. So, and basically I was also very depressed, and I didn't want to push myself to do anything, right? Actually, this week I was thinking of not doing one either, or maybe stop doing altogether, since um, I don't know, it's the depression talking. It's You'll see how bad it gets sometime. Because today's episode 6 is actually inspired by a poem I wrote once. I was get once when I was like depressed again, something like that. So we'll see that. Okay, right. So yeah. So episode 6 is, I was debating to do whether to do on my poetry, uh, purely on my poetry, or discuss all my dark poetry and my depression along with it. But I've done a lot of depression vlog, so I think I'm just concentrating on my poetry today. Uh, Not all of it, just basic history of me and poems. Okay, writing poems and all that. Okay, so let's go on. Right. So the history of my poems. As I've said before, my dad was a poet. When he was when I was a baby, his friend was like telling him that he should burn his poetry and put the ashes into a cup of water and let me drink so that I'll be a poet as well. So, well, he did do that, of course. He won't do that to a baby. But yeah, so it's a given because it's the life I was in. If I'm not like following him shooting film, following him reading poetry, meeting his poet friends, famous people actually, but to me, they were just all these uncles I get to meet now and again. Like I didn't understand the significance of always meeting uncle. Uh, Uncle Atun, Uncle Usman Awang, Uncle Bahazin, all these people that I have no idea that they are anyone important or anything. They're just these uncles that I get to see, friends of my dad, and they write good stuff that I like. Yeah. so so that's my life. Poetry has always been there around. And of course, I didn't start writing in English. I started with a little Malay poem. Um, I don't know whether I wrote anything before this, but this is something that I recall doing and I have it. Yeah. I wrote, the title was Gadis Kecil di Jendela, and I actually sent it to Dewan Siswa, but it wasn't accepted. I think that's what stopped me for a while. I didn't write poems for a long time because my first attempt at sending to a magazine wasn't accepted. I don't know. But basically, it was when I was 12, and it was after I read this novel, Japanese novel, was translated to Malay, of course. Back then I had a whole lot of supply of DBP's book from Uncle Johan. So one of them was this novel, Toto Chan Gadis Kecil di Jendela. So I love the story about this girl, about her life, about her going to school, her weird school where everyone goes into the pool naked together, and where they have sports that accommodate for everyone's difficulty. For example, they will have like running up the stairs, but the stairs are designed in such a way that someone with a few difficulty could actually go up it, and someone normal would have a problem going up it or something like that. So yeah, it was sort of written as a progressive school at that time in Japan or something like that. But yeah, it was wonderful. And in that novel, it also mentioned haiku, but it wasn't really clear the form. Okay, it was not clear on the formula, the form. How do you actually write haiku? So, and back then there was no Google that could help me with Wikipedia or anything. So what I understood that it was short. Yeah, I knew that there's certain form of syllables that you have to follow, and that's it. So I didn't know what haiku was back then. But it inspired me to write a poem. But I wanted it to be in spirit of her haiku, that it is short and sparse. Okay, so I wrote my poem as sparse as possible to again, and then I was in a transition time this year. When I was 12, I changed school 3 times. um Started in Pajaras, my old school, which was in from standard 3, 4, 5, and then part a month of my standard 6, and then I had to change to Hulu Langat when we went to accompany Auntie Jan and family in their home. So and then at the end of the year, we moved back to Pahang. So yeah, my school, my Hululang at school won't let me go, but we still had to move. So they just basically say I have to stay at the school, but I did not actually move. My record is still in Hululangai. The reason being was of UPSR result. They wanted my UPSR result to be recorded as in their school, because I was the only hope to get 5 A's that year, figures, and they've never gotten any straight A's in any even, because even though mine was for the first UPSR, but before that the standard 5 exams, they never had anyone with straight A's, full straight A's. So they didn't want to. Sorry, I had to answer a call. All right, so they didn't want to release me to another school and lose my result. So yeah, I went to street school that year. So imagine the upheaval that I went through, the friends that I lost, friends that I had to make new each time. So yeah, you can see it's about friendship. So it's a sparse poem which symbolized how lonely I felt. So if you can see later, this is very short, very, very sparse, very lonely poem, which was then recreated by my dad, who wanted to teach me how to write poetry. So he recreated it like mine was originally just 3 stanza. He recreated into 5 stanza with long, long lines in between, full of metaphors, symbol, and everything, and trying to show me how a poem looks like. But the thing was, I know how poems look like, but I wanted my poem to be different. I wanted it to be uh, as short as possible, but still carry as that emotion of loneliness. Yeah. Okay. The next one here. Right. So I don't actually have a copy of this anymore. I I moved a lot, as I said, so I lost it somewhere in between moves. Yeah, so I'm trying to recreate this from memories. I'm not sure about the last stanza. I can't recall it properly, but I think that that's how it was. So as you can see, it's just 3 stanza, 3 lines each, and I was using the tab to give it some shape. Um, so so that was my poem. Gadis kecil di jendela, kesepian, ditinggal temannya. Gadis kecil di jendela, kerinduan. Tiada teman berbicara. Gadis kecil di jendela, kesedihan. Kehilangan temannya. So that's basically it. I wanted it to be that. But since when Dad recreate my poem to his style, I vowed to never write in Malay ever again, so that he would never touch my poems, because I knew he meant well, but it's a spirit. It changed the spirit of my poem, and I felt, I don't know, felt it was uncool, I guess. So this is what made me I was so depressed today. I didn't want to record anything. I just wanted to lie down and be depressed. But that's it. I've always managed this depression, and I always find that I shouldn't listen to it. I won't let it win. That's how I win. So if it says lie down, cry, and I'll go say no, I'm not gonna lie down. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna not cry. So yeah. So when it says no, don't do the vlog today. You don't want to do it. And I did. I I got up. I cleaned the mess out of my desk, and I made a vlog. Okay, so this was what I saw and gave me an idea, an inkling of what to write today, to blog today anyway. So this is an untitled poem, actually, just because I just put it there, The Darkness Beckons Again, because it's repeated in the poem. So I think it should make a good title. All right. So this is one of those stock poem, and in my manuscript, it would be under the thunders section. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. The darkness beckons again, promising to drown the overwhelming despair in an eternity of silence. The darkness beckons again, tempting me with the illusion of relief from this unbearable hurt. The darkness beckons again, and I'm running out of reasons not to fall in its welcoming arms. So I wrote this 24th October 2016. And as usual, I put it up on Facebook. I'm not even sure if I put this into my manuscript. Yeah, I have a collection that I have been building since I was 18. I sent it to a few publishers. It's been rejected again and again. One because they don't publish poetry. Another one was because they're more into publishing Malay poetry, and then they obliged since I was someone they know. Well, someone know who knew my dad. And so they send it to be analyzed, and the person analyzing it says my poem wasn't strong enough, wasn't commercial enough, or something. I still have the rejection letter. I'm not gonna read it. I read it once and that's that. So it's just there in my computer, a manuscript. I actually have a printed version. Let me just take it out from my drawer here. Yeah, a printed version of it, which I have. Oh yeah. Mm. Yep, a printed version. Yeah, I've lost my virtual background. No worries, I'll get it back again after this. So it's called Thunders and Rainbows. Should be rainbows there, not rainbow only. Of thunders and rainbows, even though there's more thunders than rainbow. Okay, but yeah, I section it into. I started with. Okay, I think I'm gonna just stop share here. Okay, stop share, and let me get the virtual background back. Okay, right. There you go. Um, let me just go share the manuscript of mine. Yeah. Right. So yeah, it's called Of Thunders and Rainbows. That's my pen name. It's just a jumbled up acronym of my name. Okay, and an introduction, this short introduction I wrote. And it goes what this was actually an assignment for one of my master's classes. We were studying one of those poets who wrote a long poem, Wasteland, I think. I don't know if it was a Wasteland. I can't recall at this moment, but yeah, we were either had to write an analysis of that poem. It's a long poem and it's very, very difficult to analyze. Or write a similar kind of, not similar kind, meaning similar structure uh, of poems to be in lieu of the analysis. So that's what I did. And even then I cheated. I actually just I just wrote the introduction and the end. And then I compiled all my old poems, not really old, but poems I've written that year to be yeah, it was I was doing my master's and I was using poems that I wrote when I was like 18. Yeah, so old poems, and I compiled it into like episodic poem here. So it was, I called it Life in Fragments. So I started uh the collection with this poem because it's basically a sort of like a summary of my life. Yeah, so I wrote an introduction and then started with the innocence, my babies, my childhood, and then started with masquerade, my teenage life, young adult life, and then the waiting, basically about my dreams, nightmares, and then conclusion to that point of my life, I think. That's it. So yeah. And then it goes into two parts, which is one is thunders. And as I said, I have more thunders than rainbows. So thunders, it started as early as, let me see, this I'll Survive. I think it was another poem I wrote for class. Yeah, I sent this as an assignment as well during my metric years, 1995. Yeah, as early as when I was like 18. Yeah, these are all my 18 years old laments. I think these are the poems that guy said was quite weak, most probably. Yeah. And yeah, all this basically thunders are all these poems where I have problems or I'm not happy or whatever. And okay, I'm trying to find where the rainbows is actually starting. See, I told you there's a lot of thunder. Okay, I'm going to try to find my rainbow. Yeah, that's rainbow. So yeah. And rainbows is basically when I'm happy or good things happen to me. I don't write a lot of it is mostly my poems to fill, my happy poems, basically. Yeah. And yeah, that's the end. Yeah, as I can see, there's still a lot more poems that I've written after 2000. When I compiled this, I think it was 2014, 13, like that. After that, I have not actually put it in here. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing now. So yeah, that's basically my poetry. Okay, I actually, okay, hold on. Actually, one of those poems, yeah, the old poems, actually made a song out of. I'm not a composer or anything, but I sort of like made a song out of it. Think, okay, hold on. Yep, this one. I made a song for it. I used to sing it in my office. I used to have an office where I stay alone because the one I was assigned with quit 24 hours, so they didn't have time to find me a partner. So I stayed alone for quite a while. So what I did was I sang my heart out when I'm like in between classes. So I created a song for this one because I used to put all my poetry on the walls of my office. It was a really big office. We were annexed in Stadium Shah Alam, and it was like really old and really huge office, and had an office for myself. So to make it mine, I pasted all my poems. So and I used to create songs for this. It's like once it told me it gave me everything. The moon, the sun, and all the stars. Something like that. I can't recall the melody anymore. So I guess that's it. I'm wanting to share my new poems that I wrote for a competition that I didn't win, but I'm not sure whether I still can share it or not, or it's still under consideration. So I'm not doing anything about it yet, I guess. Okay. So today, for the end of the vlog, I'm singing a song that was meant to be a soundtrack, a theme song for my dad's coming movie, but I don't know whether he'll ever be able to make it. Hopefully, but this is a song. Rindunya my love adalah syairku yang terpanjang, memilih mimpi menganyam sepi, menjalin setiap duka dalam perjalananku menatang nestapa yang amat lama, yang amat lara. Rindunya my love adalah lagu seruling batang padiku dalam menjejak semalamku yang dinafikan, semalamku yang dibenamkan ke dalam sungai tak berkuala. Aduhai, telangkahkah lagi kakiku yang luka ini meredah pasirah yang membara di Sahara. Katarina dan Halifamri, papalah aku kiranya perlu kita akan menari dan menari bersama bintang bintang di langit tinggi, sehingga bulan dan matahari akan penuh belas dan hibah melihat air mata kita mengiringi kesyukuran kehadrat ilahi. Ya Allah, ya Tuhanku, aku mohon pelindungan Ya Tuhanku, aku mohon perlindunganmu, Allahu Akbar. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Have a good week ahead.